What are you up to, Donnie? Now this is going to be the only time you want to be putting airbags in your drag car. Stay tuned. Oh, there's an airbag hiding under there. That's going to make our life way easier. Give that a hit, Donnie. Yeah, all the way up. Perfect. Oh, welcome back for another episode of Can We Get This Car Down the Track? So it's Friday. We've got our first test and tune at Willowbank tonight. Go back, watch the last video if you haven't. We had the head back off the billet motor, just checking something I may or may not have gotten a bit wrong. So today we're going to find out if that has solved that issue. Oh, it's good to be back out here. Back to good old Willowbank. We got old Bags here today. He's going to be doing a bit of filming, I reckon. What do you reckon, Bags? Bit of practice filming? So that's the story. What are you filming, mate? Oh, yeah, nice looking car. Bit of an oil down in the other lane, so we have another go at it, eh? Yeah, so now that's going to go under there. Then our 4 washers, were they still on there? Well, that was a hectic hour trying to nut out what was going on, and then all of a sudden it showed itself. It just started fizzing, so knocked a cylinder out, number 2 cylinder. Luckily the boys with the Fox body over there, good old Nick Baxter, he had a spare one, so we've stolen that off him. We've wired another plug onto it, and hopefully we can have another go. Well, unfortunately, there were no records broken, that's for sure, but we did come across a few things that we've never come across before on this car. So we had the first pass come up on the 2-step and then just fell straight over, actually mounted a coil, it come back in the pits running on 3 cylinders, and we're sitting there figuring out what was going on, and it showed its own face. It just started smoke pissing out of the coil, and that is the outcome of that. Next pass he went out and it got 30 foot out, spun the tyre, so he got back on it, and then we hit a safety this time for crankcase pressure. So another thing to work through with this billet block. On a plus side, the coolant pressure was perfect, so that was good. So that must have just been from the air pocket in the head. The blocks don't have a return oil passage as good as an OEM block does. It's also got no breathing in the bottom of the block. So we added a small -8 that comes to our halfway tank. I've also added this one since we put the billet block in, but that's not helping anything either. We've also ran an 1.25 inch hose from our halfway tank all the way to the puke tank in the boot. So we've got a -16, 2 12s, an 8 off the block that has our pressure sensor in it, which all feed into here, and then out the back of this, that pipe goes through the shock tower to the back of the car, and we're still seeing 8 pounds. So what happens is it manages to hold its own for the first 2 or 3 seconds of the pass, and then it's just a linear rise the whole way until it hit our safety of 8 psi. With us running the OEM oil pump still, we're going to have a few oiling issues like this. So Talking to old Eric Jarvis, he has actually added a couple of -12s into the block itself. So I think that might be something we're going to have to do, unfortunately. It's not a little job, but it's part of the game. So just to recap on the plus notes, no coolant pressure, and we drove it back onto the trailer at the end of the night. So that's always a good feeling. These small things we're going to have to work through. To be honest, they are a bit of a pain, but it's the part of it I actually enjoy, sitting there trying to figure out what's going on and how to sort it out. And it's always a good feeling when you do sort it out. So we'll try and sort it out for you so you guys don't have to. Righto, we've just got the intake manifold off so I can show you what we have in the block at the moment for breathing. So these billet blocks don't come with any form of breather port in the block. We actually put this one in. So that's only a -8 pipe. The other thing, obviously, we've got to take all the sump and everything off so we can get through and drill this and clean everything up. So bit of a mission. So one of Dan's projects over Christmas was he's made the subframe removable sort of now. So we put the engine mounts all the way out to the outside so we can remove this portion, the steering rack and the middle of the front cross member. So we should be able to remove the sump in the car. Let's give it its first go and see if it's worth its weight in gold. So 10 minutes later, that is on the ground. So basically 10 bolts, the motor stays in there. Now we can attack the sump, get that off, see how much room we have in there to drill some bigger holes. Now this is what oil looks like that's come out of an engine that's been on methanol. Now what I've actually noticed, if I flick it over to petrol and let it run for 10 minutes or so, it gets the heat back in that oil afterwards, and it's like brand new again, so it does burn the moisture out. So that's one handy thing about having that the extra fuel system. There's quite a few benefits really, but it's good not having to change the oil all the time. As soon as you see it like that, it sort of gets a bit scary. So the beauty there is we've got the sump off, we've got the windage tray off, and now we can actually see my hole that I've already put in there, which is about 20 mil diameter, 19 mil. It is an orb fitting at the moment, so we've got to try and make that one bigger. Not sure if I'm going to do one big one or two roughly the same size. So I'll do a bit of measuring. While I'm in here, I'll obviously check one of these bearings and we'll see what they look like after some 1300 horsepower pulls on the dyno. So here's the bearing, there's the top bearing. It doesn't look too bad. Obviously this thing's getting punished. It's still the narrow K-series journal we've got in, being the stock crank. So you're gonna see little wear marks like that, but not too bad. And in the cap, we've got a funny few lines going on there. That does mean something, but I'm not quite sure, so I'll look into that. Oh, here's something for you K-series guys we've just made. Direct port nitrous. So each little jet holder right there holds your nitrous jet, the NOS brand style jets, and it feeds 2 cylinders. A bolt straight on, it's 12 millimeters thick, and it's basically just a big sandwich plate that goes between your head and your intake manifold. Nice, easy way. The police won't even know when they check your car out that you've got nitrous lines coming in down there. So my plan this week, we'll get this breather pipe put in. We're going to 1.25 inches, which is 32 mil out of the crankcase. So surely if that doesn't fix it, we've got something else going on. But I'm pretty sure that's going to solve a few dramas. Now, we're heading back to the track in 2 weeks from now. Hopefully the track's going to be a bit better. Even if we wanted to go fast last night, if the car wanted to, the track wasn't going to allow it. So we'll go back out and have another go. Over and out. See you on the next one.
Well, that was interesting.
Break it down.